Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the briefing. I'm Nick Pasculi, the County Communications Director, and we're pleased to have you join us today on this Wednesday afternoon. We are waiting for one guest to arrive, but in the interest of time, we're going to start with our Climate of Hope community event. And we are happy to have with us Cora Panturad of the County Monterey Sustainability Program and Eloy Ortiz of Regeneracion, Pajaro Valley. And this is an annual event in Watsonville focusing on the Pajaro Valley and promoting sustainability, climate change, and supporting community and projects to reduce pollution and improve health. And it's nice to have both of them with us today to talk to us more about this event. Cora or Eloy, either one of you are welcome to start.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nick. And Eloy, do you want to share screen real quick?
Yeah, I will share the slides.
Perfect. Well, I'll go ahead and get started. So my name is Cora Panturad. I'm the Sustainability Program Manager for the County of Monterey. And I can start with some brief background on our Transformative Climate Communities Planning Grants. So this is a grant from the California Strategic Growth Council in the amount of $300,000. We are coming up on our grants term. So our full term is July 2023 to June 2025. The county is the lead agency, and we're partnering with Regeneracion, as well as with the University of California, Santa Cruz Sustainability Office, Ecology Action, and the Association of Monterey Bay Area Governments. So as a quick summary, this is a 2-year effort that is focusing on the Pajaro Valley. And the idea is that we will be focusing on up to 5 greenhouse gas reducing projects, and that we have been hard at work forming the Community Climate Coalition of Pajaro residents. And the community leaders that work in Pajaro and Watsonville that form our Community Climate Collaborative are from the Casa de la Cultura, Milpa, Positive Discipline Community Resources, Watsonville Wetlands Watch, Ventures, Monarch Services, and then also 2 residents from Pajaro and 2 residents from Watsonville, because this is a multi-jurisdictional community, and we think that planning for the future needs to incorporate residents from both of those areas. And you can find more information on this at the link below on the slides.
Yes, we are having a Climate of Hope fair to support the Transformative Climate Communities Planning Grant. The themes that have developed over the past meetings that began in February of 2024, the themes that were developed were around health and safety. So how can as we look at sustainability and climate change, how can we also improve the health and safety of residents in both Pajaro and Watsonville side? At the event, or I should say, the event will take place on September 29th from 1 to 4 p.m. at Somos, 112 East Beach Street in Watsonville. The idea of having a Sunday event in the afternoon is to maximize farm worker availability. Sundays are usually the rest days for farm workers, and we want to make sure that the most vulnerable populations of this area are taken into account and engaged with for this project, I should say. We'll have free snacks and beverages. We'll have raffle prizes donated by our partner agencies, music, bike safety lessons, face painting for kids, community resources. Our event is right there, and further, I can provide links to the flyer. I should say, we can send out links to the flyers to all of you who are in the meeting right now. Some of our partner agencies from the community, of course, Cora and the County of Monterey Sustainability Program, Santa Cruz Museum of Natural History, Community Health Trust of Pajaro Valley, Ecology Action, as will be doing a bike rodeo with kids, Parks California. Essentially, a lot of groups who will provide resources to community members and will tell them about their climate change and environmental focused activities that are available to residents. We also have a number of partners from UC Santa Cruz who are joining us, who are working on climate change or environmental projects. The UC Santa Cruz Center for Reimagining Leadership, The UCSC also has a farm worker heat study who are going to present preliminary information on that research that they're doing. Oh, I do want to highlight the asterisk there. The UCSC Center for Reimagining Leadership is supporting with $1,000 donation to purchase prizes and raffle incentives for residents to attend the event. The goals for the Climate of Hope Fair are, of course, to support the Transforming Climate Communities planning grant, inform residents about greenhouse gases with culturally relevant activities, and then also collect information from Pajaro Valley residents about the greenhouse gas reducing projects that they believe will improve health and safety in their community using interactive activities. And just wanted to, for more information, you can contact either Cora or myself. There are email addresses. We also have links there to the original press release for the project, and also our Community Climate Collaborative website and Spanish and English event flyers.
Great.
And
Yeah, go ahead, Eli. I'm sorry. Eloy.
yeah, Nicholas, I sent Maya the link to the slides. I'll send them over to you as soon as we're done here.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to share those with the folks attending today and those that were invited. I also put the flyers in the chat so people can download those
Great.
as well. This is such an important thing, and community education is vital to everything we do, whether it's in government or the private and nonprofit organizations to help educate. But why is this particularly important? And the timing of this is really good, and thinking about we're now in Preparedness Month, and Kelsey Scanlon from our Department of Emergency Management is going to be speaking about that in just a few seconds. But from a sustainability standpoint, why is this important to bring to the public?
Oh. Go ahead, Cora.
Sure. I think that when we want to address sustainability, and we can see this with the drafting of the upcoming climate action plan, that's our climate action and adaptation plan. So we want to think about mitigation efforts on one hand. So how we can reduce our contributions to climate change and really make these sectors of greenhouse gas emissions from buildings and transportation accessible to everyday people so that they can understand how this impacts their lives and how their lives can be improved, and we can increase quality of life while we're thinking about how our neighborhoods and communities can be more climate friendly. And at the same time, we want to think about how we're going to adapt to the effects of climate change that we know are going to be coming so that we can get concerns from the community and start thinking about resiliency centers and cooling centers and those kinds of things, and really be on the ground and understand with the community what their needs and concerns are.
Outstanding. And of course, to your point, Cora, I mean, sustainability is something that is more approachable than people really think it is. We all can do a little bit to help in that regard, can't we?
That's right. The ongoing definition that we like to use is that sustainability is our ability to meet our needs today without compromising future generations to meet their own. And a good starting place is always, how is this community's needs being met, and how can we address that in the future? And I think Eloy's been really helpful in messaging that to the community.
Great.
Definitely.
Eloy,
And
thoughts from
yeah,
you?
I was just wanting to add, there are a lot of, since the flooding event here, there has been a lot of interest from researchers and other external organizations. So, part of the work we're trying to do around this project is to synthesize, to connect the different researchers and different projects that are happening in the area around sustainability and around climate change. And this is events like this where folks where farm workers can meet academics, farm workers can meet leaders from public agencies, are something that we want to focus on at Regeneracion, is bridging whatever divisions are there, whatever you know the being inarticulate at a press conference, bridging them and making the connections between different groups who are working to benefit each other.
That's right. It's a cross-collaborative engagement initiative, and we want to de-silo all the many players who are working on this issue.
Great,
Fantastic. All right.
perfect.
Great. And so I'd like to see if any of our friends from the media have any questions for either Eloy or Cora with regard to the Climate of Hope community event that's happening. Any questions?
Can I do it in Spanish?
Absolutely. And
Sí.
yes,
Eloy,
please do.
¿qué tan grave es el problema del cambio climático y cómo podría afectar, por ejemplo, cómo hacer que la comunidad entienda que esto es algo que es, pues que les conviene saber y estar preparados?
Pues ya vemos que particularmente en las familias campesinas, ellos ya saben que el cambio climático se están afectándolos. Ellos ya saben que ah, en años atrás empezaron a trabajar en marzo, ya están trabajando en abril y pues los meses cuando ellos están trabajando se están disminuyendo. Ya si empiezan en abril, um, no están trabajando 40 horas, posiblemente están trabajando 30 horas. Entonces, las oportunidades para hacer dinero económicas se están disminuyendo y todos tenemos que, ¿cómo se dice? Estar
Conscientes.
consciente de cómo el cambio climático está afectando a nosotros y qué podemos hacer diariamente para hacer hacer ejemplos para nuestros hijos, nuestros nietos que van a seguir y van a ver que el cambio climático se va a poner un poco peor si no hacemos cambios ahorita, este día, en cómo vivimos y cómo vivimos y cómo cómo vivimos, perdón. Gracias.
Por ejemplo, una persona, un campesino, una persona,
Ujú.
un residente de Pájaro, del Valle de Pájaro, ¿en qué forma diariamente en su accionar puede ayudar al cambio climático?
Y lo que nosotros estamos haciendo aquí es no poner todo el estrés en los campesinos, porque ellos ya sabemos que ellos no están, la gente que está más impactados del cambio climático son los que ha hecho lo menos para causar el cambio climático. Pero también sabemos que si hacemos cambios como caminar un poco más a la tienda, ir sin, no quemar gasolina, petro en el carro.
Ujú.
Podemos reducir los gases de invernaderos que estamos quemando y también podemos mejorar nuestra salud porque estamos caminando un poco más o estamos un poco más activos. Podemos abogar por jardines en la comunidad que donde ellos pueden hacer ejercicio, atendiendo el jardín, pueden crecer su propias verduras o frutas para disminuir la inseguridad de la comida.
Ok,
Entonces,
sí,
proyectos
gracias.
así que pueden mejorar la salud de la gente y también disminuir los gases que estamos quemando diariamente.
Gracias, Eloy.
Gracias.
All right. Thank you very much, Fidel. I appreciate you asking the questions. Eloy, can you just recap quickly what you said in Spanish and English?
Yeah, so Fidel asked me what can a farm worker do or a resident do to impact to decrease climate change impact, or I'm sorry, his first question was why is it important for people from the community to know about climate change? So I brought up the point that a lot of, for example, a lot of farm workers know climate change is impacting them. They know that, in the past, they started work in March and maybe ended at the end of October, early November, and they see that that window is closing, right? So now they'll start maybe work in April. and at the end of October. And instead of working 40 hours a week, they're working, 35, 30 hours a week. But because, of the flood, heavy rains or heat, heat also, on high heat days, people, farm workers are not supposed to be out there. Also asked, Fidel's second question was about, what can farm workers do to decrease climate change impacts? And what I related is that we're not really putting the pressure on farm workers because they have done the least to cause climate change, right? They're not out there in planes. They're not consuming all the time. But what we want to do is really look at projects that can benefit farm work or residents, I should say, such as community gardens where people can get exercise gardening and also decrease their food insecurity, or emphasizing walking more to places like stores. So that'll improve residents' health, not only being more active, but also decrease any greenhouse gases that they're burning, by jumping in a car. And of course, I'm talking about like walking to a corner store or somewhere nearby, not long distances and things like that.
And these projects that we're looking at, we're looking for 5 projects that can help reduce greenhouse gases in this community. And these are projects that will allow residents to participate in behavior change that will reduce their climate impact and also improve their life. Like we know that's a huge section of families' budgets is going to transportation costs because they have to maintain one or more automobile. But if we can replace that with active transportation and e-bikes and bus passes, for example, then that's a huge section of their budget that can go right back to the community. So these are the kinds of projects that's good for people's budgets, it's good for their health, that we want to prioritize for our communities.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys very much for that. And again, Fidel, thank you for asking that question. Any other questions from our news media before we move on to our next guest? And of course, as I mentioned earlier, I did put the flyers in the chat, so you're please download those and share those as you all see fit. So changing subjects a little bit, but somewhat related, September is National Preparedness Month, and recognizing this annually during the month of September, National Preparedness Month serves as a reminder to promote family and community disaster planning, not just now, but throughout the year. And in recognition of National Preparedness Month, our Department of Emergency Management Director, Kelsey Scanlon, is glad to have you here with us today to talk about, what are things the community can do to prepare, and what are the things that the county is doing to help our residents be resilient. Welcome, Kelsey.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here. We always love Preparedness Month. One of the things that I really want to highlight is there are a variety of strategies a family can put into place, or individuals or businesses can put into place to prepare themselves for any type of hazard or natural disaster. But there's a variety of strategies that are low cost or no cost that I really want to highlight. And there's such simple steps. And the first is coming to our website. And I'm going to share that real quick. And it's really a one-stop shop for everything that you need related to emergencies in Monterey County. So this is where you can find preparedness information, specific incident information, and recovery information, depending on the incident. And this is, instead of going to the county website, this is really specific to the entirety of Monterey County. And so for Preparedness Month, we're encouraging people to come to this prepare section. And it'll take you to this landing page where you can have a step-by-step tutorial on everything that you can do in your home to prepare for the next hazard that you may encounter. And we do try to make these all hazards, and that it doesn't matter what hazard that you're experiencing or what disaster you're experiencing, your plan and your go kit will still be relevant or pertinent to that particular emergency. And then if, of course, you would like to do a deep dive into some of the hazards that are susceptible in Monterey County, you can come down and, click on the individual hazards. But the main concept, and this is a nationwide strategy, is stay informed, make a plan, build a kit, and get involved. The first thing you can do, and the first thing that we love to encourage people, and I always say, knowledge is power. Empower yourself by learning about the threats or hazards near your home or business or school. Learn about what evacuation routes may be nearby. Try to gather as much information as you can so that you can make an informed decision about your life and safety. And so the first low-cost option, actually no-cost option, excuse me, is signing up for emergency alerts. I generally like to say, if I don't have your phone number, how am I supposed to call you? So if you don't register your phone number with us, it's very difficult for us to inform you that there's an emergency occurring near you that you need to take action to avoid or to mitigate. And so we're encouraging people to register for Alert Monterey County. It's free of charge, with the exception of whatever data plan you have, whether it be unlimited or minute-based or what have you. Registration is free. We do not use the data for anything other than emergency alerts, and it is not accessible to the rest of the world. There's a very few select individuals who have access to the data, and so it's generally secure. We encourage people not just to text their zip code, but to fully register. And we encourage people to add their home, their office, their schools, their kids' daycare, their parents' homes, so that you can get all of the information for the people that you care about. And then the second option, or real quick about emergency alerts, is we did just switch to a new system. So if you're already registered in the old system, I would not make the assumption that the data has rolled over. We have made that data migration, but just in case, make sure you go in and start your account in the new system. The next option is to make a plan. And so this is where you're strategizing on what hazards could affect you and what you're going to do about it, how you're going to reconnect with your family, how you're going to reconnect with your property or belongings, and how you're going to communicate with the rest of your family and friends about your safety and what your plan is. And so each of these steps takes you through the main points about your immediate safety, your long-term recovery needs, and where you can store all of these different documents. The main thing, though, is to practice it. So whatever your plan says, just to practice your evacuation routes, practice your communication plans, really normalize the concept of reunification with your family and trying to get back to normalcy as quick as possible. So it's not such a shock or stressor. This one, building a kit can get quite costly depending on what you're putting in it. And so I try to encourage people to find items that you already have in your possession and gather them if you have duplicates of them. So if I have canned goods, I'll try to rotate them out, especially if they're about to expire, and put new ones in there. And so you're just constantly trying to refresh it without, going out and spending extra money. The main things for me that I consider to be of high value to me are my insurance documents. Any financially related documents, saving them somewhere, either on a thumb drive or on a cloud-based system so that you can access them even if the original documents are destroyed. Making sure, for me, it's my contacts. I cannot do anything without being able to see. And so I always make sure that I have extra pairs of contacts with me on my person or in the car or in my backpack. I really just have them everywhere. But finding those things that you literally cannot do without, that you need to survive, is really critical for you. And so I have a go kit here. My office is actually just all those drawers back there. I know they're file cabinets, but it's my go kit back there. And I have one in my car. I have one at my parents' house. generally making sure that you create a change in your lifestyle so that you're less impacted if there's an actual disaster. But the basics are, you know, food, water, flashlight, first aid kit, extra batteries, whistle, extra cell phone chargers. That's always like a number one for me as well. Contacts, cell phone charger, and insurance documents. And then you can just add or supplement as you see fit. Of course, the fur babies and the actual babies should be considered as well in your planning efforts. And finding places that are sustainable for you to maintain them or store them. So you don't want to go and put it in a shed that you forget about 10 years from now. Try to, you know, put it in a place where there's high traffic, that if you pass by, you can be like, oh, I've remembered that, you know, there's items in here that are expiring that I need to replace. And so that's the main message for us this preparedness season. And if this, out of all of this, you take one thing away, it's to register for emergency alerts. It's, you know, fast, easy, free. So I hope people go through the full preparedness cycle. But if you, like I said, if you just have to choose one thing, please register for emergency alerts.
That's great. And also, it's important to note, Kelsey, that all this information is also available in Spanish on the website. So the website is available both in Spanish and English, and all those resources that Kelsey pointed to on the website are also in Spanish. Might also want to note that
I have a question, Nick.
Yes, go ahead, Fidel.
You know, in the last meeting that we were at San Pablo de Colores, I tried to get into the alert system of Monterey County, and Andrea was helping me, and I just couldn't connect. I don't know if it would be a good idea to have like a meeting, somebody from the county and with the community to register all people, because I'm pretty sure many people are not registered for if an emergency comes. I don't know if it's kind of difficult. I don't even, I'm sure if I got connected or not to the alert system.
So,
we do generally go into the community, especially right before like a winter storm, to register people. We did this past winter as well. You can also go to any Monterey County library and ask for assistance in registering there. But I appreciate that feedback, and we can put together a video tutorial for people on how to register for emergency alerts. I think that's a great recommendation.
Yeah, that would be awesome, because I think many people is not listed, and I mean, in an emergency, that's critical to have that alert.
And Fidel, if you want, you can email me after the briefing's over. I can send you a link to a 2-minute video that's in English and Spanish that talks about the emergency alert. And incidentally, the Department of Emergency Management is being very proactive in getting the word out to the community. We had billboards up in Pajaro to promote the Alert Monterey County system, as well as in South Monterey County in the rural areas. And since it's Preparedness Month, the department is running public service announcements on some of our local television stations in both English and Spanish, promoting the Alert Monterey County system.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Kelsey.
You're welcome. Any other questions for Kelsey while we have her on with us today? You can either put your questions in the chat, or you can raise your hand, and you can unmute yourself. No questions. So I'm going to just take an opportunity, since Kelsey just talked about it, just to show the 30-second video real quick.
In an emergency, every second counts. Stay ahead by staying informed. Introducing Alert Monterey County, the county's new emergency alert system that delivers critical public safety information instantly via SMS, phone calls, email, and more. To register for these alerts, visit alertmontereycounty.org. Remember, stay informed, stay safe. Register today for Alert Monterey County.
So that's just one of the resources that we have airing, and then Fidel, I can email you a link to the longer version. We do have a question, Kelsey, for you from Ariana Ariza, who is a reporter for KSBW Action News 8. Her question is, do you have an update on the $20 million funding for Pajaro?
Yeah, so generally speaking, after the projects were approved by the Board of Supervisors, Monterey County Department of Emergency Management has been working with the identified partners to get the money moving and the contracts in place, and we've been doing that for about 6 months now. The individual assistance program did kick off in March and did a full, I believe, 35-day application period. And phase 1 of that program is complete, and we have moved on to phase 2. The business recovery program is well underway as well, and we're hoping to have some good news in a very short period, hopefully. But definitely that will be coming down the pike in the foreseeable future. We have disseminated or completed the competitive bidding process for a fiscal agent to administer the community grant program. And that contract was approved by the Board of Supervisors about a month ago, and we're hoping to announce the community grant program also fairly soon here. We've been working with the community through community discussions and workshops regarding the Safe Streets projects, and have really been receiving some great feedback, and we're hoping to put together a plan in conjunction with Public Works on how the Safe Streets program will start to look like in terms of plan development. And we have also been working with North County Fire to procure the first responder equipment that was approved as well. And so those are our top priorities for right now, is to get money out the door as fast as we can and into the hands of the residents and the businesses, and then focus on the larger capital improvement projects.
Question, Kelsey. Even though the Army Corps engineers are doing good progress on the Pajaro River, there are people are still afraid of, and they keep asking the same question: are we safe for this upcoming season, winter season?
Yeah, so generally the comment that I like to share with people is that even if the levee is fully improved, there is still risk living next to a levee. There will always be risk living next to a levee, even if it's the best levee in the world. And so I think we need to be mindful of how we communicate about risk living next to a levee. And so I don't want there to be false sense of security. I will say that the Army Corps has been working diligently with PERFMA to do the emergency repairs and to start work on some of the betterments as well. I can't speak for PERFMA on their progress and the risk reduction element, but generally it is always best to be prepared, especially when you live next to any large water body, such as the Salinas River, the Carmel River, the Pajaro River, the coast, etc.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fidel, for that question. Any other questions for Kelsey while we have her with us today? Okay, I'm not seeing any further questions. This has been a great briefing. I want to thank our guests today for being here, and I want to thank those of you from the media who came. Next week, our topics will be Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and Monterey County, our county will be hosting a hospitality job fair, and there'll be information about that on next Wednesday. And so for all of us at the County of Monterey, thank you for joining us on today's briefing. Have a great day.